So today we're talking about Ether 4 through 7. Chapter 4 is referencing this sealed portion, this sacred experience the brother Jared had with God. And Joseph Smith is commanded not to open this sealed portion. And I think it's interesting to note that some witnesses of the plates have said that if that sealed portion was either a third or two-thirds of the plates that Joseph had received. So if they had been translated, it would have been thousands of pages added to the Book of Mormon. Chapter 4 also talks of if something is good, it is of God. And oftentimes we get hung up on, is this a thought from God or is this my own thought? And I often question that myself, but I always go to, is this going to lead to something good or not bad? And if I act on that, then oftentimes God will reveal that he was in that. And I give him the credit, then that helps him know I really want him to talk with me. Chapter 5, the three witnesses of the Book of Mormon that is coming in the time of Joseph Smith is prophesied here in Ether. And I love that. If you look at the three witnesses of the Book of Mormon, all of them were excommunicated and fell away from the church, but none of those that witnessed the Book of Mormon plates ever denied what they had witnessed. And I think that is so profound to consider. Their testimonies never wavered on the truthfulness of the Book of Mormon, and how that really should be our anchor as we go forward in our own conversion process. Chapter 6, there's the word commend. So as the Jaredites get onto the boats and they're about to take this journey, they commend themselves to God. And that's to entrust. And it made me think how often I struggle to surrender and entrust God with my journey. And I want to take the driver's seat back, right? And we see here the Jaredites praised God. They never stopped praising God no matter how bad the storm was. And the importance of praising God night and day through our storms, it actually allows us to have power, spiritual power, to stay spiritually minded. But it's tough, right? I was just in the temple and my heart was heavy on some things. And I think it was obvious on my face because another patron made a comment that it looked like I had things that were troubling me. And I wasn't overly emotional or anything like that, but I thought, where's the spirit of praise that I can turn to? And that's the power of gratitude to help transform storms and worries into a spiritually minded experience. And that's what the Jaredites did. Chapter 7, Moroni does a brilliant job abridging and highlighting a history that was pretty immense. But out of all of the kings of the Jaredites, only 7 were righteous. And we see this kind of microcosm of the same thing that happens to the Nephites and the Lamanites happen with the Jaredites. They journey out to the promised land, they get there on boats, then they decide they want to have a king, and when you start worshiping a king, you stop worshiping God, and then you get a wicked king in there, and then the pride cycle starts, and then in this chapter we see there becomes 2 factions, 2 different groups, just like Nephites and Lamanites, and the kings are warring and the people are warring. And so I think it's an important analogy for our own lives, and how often we can fall into the trap of looking for power sources outside of God to help us find stability. Where are the pride cycles happening? Where do we get into factions in our families and in our wards where we're us against them, right? Or politically speaking, where we can easily destroy our communities just with this us and them mentality that we see play out not only for the Jaredites, but the Lamanites, the Nephites, and it's the downfall of many cultures. So those are my thoughts today. In 5 days, the Book of Mormon will be done. And for many of you, you have followed on my Insta stories and on my YouTube channel, and you have asked, because I didn't start these videos until Alma 26. So I promise you, as soon as we finish, I'm going to circle back to the beginning of the Book of Mormon, the first half that we didn't get. So I hope you'll continue to share these videos with your friends and family. And thank you to all of you that have messaged about how it's helped you finish the Book of Mormon. That's a beautiful why for me, to show up and share just a few thoughts with you every day. And bless you and thank you for journeying with me.